Yeah.
I'll go with the Big 12 player out of Houston, AJ Haulcy, who had 13 passes defensed and 5 picks, just because it obviously impacts 2025 more so than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this guy's a first team All Big 12 performer.
Yeah, and this is a guy who's actually done it in a couple of different places, similar to, but not the same as Cam Ward. He started as a freshman at New Mexico, had 87 tackles, 3 for loss, 2 interceptions, 3 PBUs, forced fumble, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery in 2022, and then left from there and went to Houston, where he had 2 very strong years, 98 tackles in 23. And then 74 tackles, 5 picks, and 8 PBUs in the first team all conference last year for Houston. So yeah, this is a guy who has demonstrated himself to be able to produce in multiple stops already. This is a guy who I believe can play here. Miami was definitely always looking for another safety. I think we're really looking for secondary help, especially now after the departure of Zaquan Patterson. And then Emmanuel Carnley also is in the portal, but he was a kind of still a talented cornerback at 6'3", 200 or like 195 pounds, but he was further from being an impact player than was Patterson. So getting Haulcy on campus is a step in the right direction, I think. I think that Miami would be well served to add him to the roster for next year. And if that does come to pass, that would be obviously projecting out, but Haulcy and Poyser, along with Dylan Day, along with Markeith Williams, along with the young kids who are maybe a corner or safety, not Amari Daniels, Wallace, excuse me, in that position room as well. I think that would be a really positively impactful move to get AJ Haulcy. So, we're going to trust that process. Going to let the team, let the coaching staff and recruiting department do what they do. Connected with NIL, operations and everything. And I'm confident that Miami will put their best foot forward.
Yeah, and this is a guy that obviously did not play for the best football team overall last season. I believe they won 4 games. But for him to gain that kind of attention, to be voted first team All Big 12, says something for his individual ability, because it certainly had to outshine the limelight that his team did not attract.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he's from Texas, so there's no draw to South Florida.
I mean, other than just trying to step up to, a bigger brand and everything, and, showcasing your talents, looking in the future towards the NFL draft. I know that there is obviously the draw of home, and, Houston, what was his name? Ed Oliver went first round, but Ed Oliver was a 5-star who decided to stay home. Like, that's different. But yeah, you step up to a bigger stage. I mean, I've made the comparison once. I'm going to make it again. Cam Ward is from West Columbia, Texas. And then he transferred where? Sorry, it's on this side. The U, and we see what's going on there. So, yeah, man, everybody has to take the path that works for them. And I'm hopeful that AJ Haulcy believes that the next step of his professional growth and journey, whatever, because they're getting paid anyway, involves Miami.
Do we know of any other big time programs? I'm sure they're in the mix, but I haven't heard of anywhere else that he has visited or seems to be in the running.
Honestly, didn't look. I just saw that Miami was really getting connected and everything, and I've been I've been working on a couple of things and doing the mental work towards the draft tomorrow. So just kind of perusing the surface of the landscape in the transfer portal. Okay, cool, seeing some of this stuff and how Miami's connected, and then really not digging any deeper than that. I wanted to pause because I saw this question from Tyson Tracy. And I'm sorry for interrupting your very well-crafted segue, sir. But I just started reading this, and it started getting my brain going. So if Miami can get Haulcy, the safety we already talked about, to pair with Poyser, along with the starters we have at other positions, does it make it easier to bring along Popo, Aguirre, Jalen Alderman, and those at linebacker? Having better players around you, helps. take some of the load from the other positions and things like that. You know what I mean? But you got Wesley Saint in his fourth and final year playing here because he's played every single year. You got Popo Aguirre, who was, you know, almost a starter in terms of snaps, and he was the first guy off the bench anytime that Kiko Mawinoa came off the field. Jalen Alderman played a nice rotational role coming over from Louisville. I know that there's the transfer kid who signed with Oregon or played at Oregon and then went to BYU, who's in the transfer portal at linebacker. Forgive me. Like I said, I know that he exists. I don't remember his name. But I know that he is somebody that Miami could be looking at. I saw that there's a player from NC State that Gabby Rudia had just tweeted about and wrote an article. Well, I didn't read it, but if I looked up the NC State roster, I could probably figure out, because, you know, the picture is right there with the kid and the number. So I say that to say that there are multiple guys who have been spoken of in the portal at linebacker connected to Miami in whatever degree, right? So if you believe that you have who you need, you don't necessarily go get another player unless he's a game changer, right? I'm not sure that Miami believes that they have exactly who they need in the linebacker room, regardless of anything else. But I get what you're saying. Like, if the defensive line is incredible and the safety or the secondary is incredible, could you get by? If those are the chocolate cookies of your Oreo, do we get by with the thin stuffing? But I would really prefer the double stuffed cream in the middle with the linebackers. If you are looking for double stuffed Oreos and I come to you with the thin joints, you're like, cool, this is great. This is not what I wanted. So you're going to go and get the other people. So like I see that you're making a connection between improving one position and letting it slide at another position. It's my belief and Mario's stated modus operandi that he will always look to get the roster at every position where he believes he needs it to be. So if he believes it to be deficient at linebacker, then he's going to go get who he needs, regardless, or who he believes he needs, regardless of what's going on at any other position. So I think, and like, I was just working through it because I saw your question. You know that I do these things live. I love, because it's a great brain activity, and I really appreciate the question. So I'm not casting aspersions to you or anything like that. I'm not doing any of that. I just think that you're creating a corollary or like a connected scenario that are independent variables. You know what I mean? Like, we need safety help, we'll go get Haulcy, we'll go whomever. We need linebacker help, we'll go with it. So, and it's not going to be because, and this is why. It took me a second, but here I am. Invert that, my friend. And then say, we got the linebacker that we wanted. Linebacker's really good. Defensive line is really good. We'll just bring the guys along in the secondary and see what happens. Would you be comfortable with that? Seeing what happened last year, especially, and how that exact scenario went, I'm sure that you would not. You would be coming on here next week or the week after. What the hell is wrong with Mario? We need somebody at safety. We haven't gotten the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So, because I think it projecting out with Haulcy at safety, it makes it's that warm, comfy feeling. You know, that caramel apple spice from Starbucks where I used to work in the wintertime when it gets nice and cold, right? It's that, I like that. So I feel good about this thing that I like, and I'm willing to overlook that. But if it was the other way, and it's something that you're already comfortable with getting a little bit stronger, and the thing you're not comfortable with back there in the secondary looking like it had looked it last year, it wouldn't necessarily be the connection, which is why I believe those are independent variables, not linked. Does that make sense?
I'm with you.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's kind of that's my view. So I think that, yeah, if we get Haulcy, that would be great. And since you believe that, I mean, I was saying, would it be easier to bring along those guys, which tells me from your statement, because words mean things, that they're not where we believe they need to be, then we're evaluating it as in we need others. So then we'll go get hopefully another or others at that position to help out the running of the defense.